This is Channel 2 News at 5.
Finally, he's just a little over 4 feet tall, and he barely weighs 50 pounds. But you can bet no one in the neighborhood wants to tackle with Michael Brownlee II. Channel 2's Vanessa Moody shows you why.
Good. Go.
No, this isn't a fake piece of cardboard like you might see in the movies. It's pine wood that's 1 inch thick. 6-year-old Michael Brownlee II breaks the board so easily because he's a black belt in karate, probably the youngest in the country. If you think Michael is something now, consider the fact that he was only 4 years old when he started this. That created some very unique problems.
He couldn't count at all. He couldn't even count at all, so to learn his patterns, his forms, he had to count them out. And that's the way he learned how to count. So he knew how to count before he ever got into school, ever got into camp.
The senior Brownlee teaches at Michael's Murfreesboro karate class. Michael first became interested in the sport when his dad started it about 2 years ago.
He was always doing it at home, practicing, and I got into it. He was teaching me at home, then I wanted to come here.
He'd come for about 15, 20 minutes at a time to begin with, and after about 2 months, you couldn't keep him away from here.
Michael now practices every day. Breaking 1-inch boards and throwing people 3 times his size are no problem, but it wasn't always this easy, especially in the beginning.
Everybody's knocking me down and all.
You can bet nobody's knocking him down anymore, but Michael's dad stresses the fact that karate builds self-control, not bullies.
We tell them that they're never to use it unless they're put in a situation where they have to, absolutely have to. It's better to talk your way out of it or turn around and walk away than it is to fight.
Vanessa Moody, Channel 2 News.
Bet he gets respect on the schoolyard.
No doubt about it. That wraps up our 5 o'clock report. Thank you for joining us, and we hope to see you tonight at 10.
Good night.
You know, most kids, you always reprimand them about, don't touch that, don't touch this, you know. And with Mike, it's don't put your feet on this, don't kick this, don't kick that.
Mikey Brownlee has been practicing taekwondo since he was 4 years old. He's now 7 and the youngest black belt in the United States.
He couldn't count before he, came in here. And he learned to count here, and he learned self-control here. And before he'd ever start here, he was kind of hyper, and bouncing all around, all over the place, and all this kind of stuff. And so by the time he had started kindergarten, he had had about a year already in taekwondo.
His father noticed Mikey's interest when he himself started taking karate lessons. Now, Mikey's seriousness in the sport is obvious, and some weeks he'll practice 3 or 4 hours a day.
Once you step in, once you block down, ridge hand. Once you step back. A martial art is not something like a basketball, football, thing that they will grow out of as we all grow older. This is something that I've heard of people in their late 80s doing. Can you imagine starting when you're 4 years old? 13, 14, 15.
You might think that karate is too tough a sport for such a young guy, but the benefits for Mikey have been many.
16, 17.
He started getting more disciplined. He started getting into the program, building more confidence, saying, I can do that. I am doing that. And I imagine it built his confidence.
Because it's something he wants to do. It's not something that he's made to do. He just loves it.
Whoa, he's an incredible little fella. Also, the other little fella that you saw Mikey working out with, his name is Rance Lester. He's just 4 years old, and he already has a blue belt. And to show you the listings of the belts, Taekwondo belts start at white, They go to yellow, then green, then blue, then red and black. So I'm sure he's on his way to a black belt. Can you imagine that? 4 and 7 years old. You wouldn't want to meet either of them in a dark alley.
No. I don't know if I could raise a child like that or not. I'd probably do that. No, I'm not going to do it.
Hands could be lethal weapons.
I'd be black and blue is what I would be.